Should I eat breakfast before my coffee? Which career should I choose? What should I say in response to this text? When you get overwhelmed by making a choice, when you can't decide between A and B, you often settle for C, or you end up paralyzed, procrastinating, or making no decision at all. It is called decision paralysis. In this video, you'll learn what is decision paralysis, how to recognize decision paralysis, causes of decision paralysis, and tips to overcoming it. What is decision paralysis? Decision paralysis is the state of indecision when faced with multiple options that we struggle to compare. It is the inability to decide out of fear of making the wrong choice or being overwhelmed by too many options. There are 3 causes of decision paralysis. 1. Decision paralysis is often triggered when you're presented with too many choices. That causes you to overthink which one to take on next, overwhelming you to the point of not choosing any. This leaves you in a state of paralysis where you're not making progress and not moving forward. 2. Making a choice comes with risk, a risk of disappointment, fear, or regret. And a lack of ability to regulate the emotional aspect of decisions impacts our ability to choose between options. 3. Your brain struggles to make sense of important, complex, abstract tasks. The word for this is executive functioning. This is all about how your brain manages decision-making, how it prioritizes what is important. The average human has a hard time evaluating so much information, but for a lot of people. How to recognize decision paralysis. Here are some signs that you're dealing with analysis paralysis when faced with a decision. You're constantly seeking more information, collecting data, or conducting research without reaching a conclusion. You have an intense fear of making the wrong decision, which leads to a reluctance to take any action. You worry excessively about potential negative outcomes, leading to a state of inaction. You're continually delaying making decisions by seeking more time to think or analyze the situation. Here are 2 practical tips to overcome decision paralysis. Barry Schwartz has spent years studying this, and he describes in one of his TED Talks how he used to just buy the only pair of jeans that were available because there was only one option. But recently he needed a new pair and was bombarded with all the options: tapered, straight leg, boot cut, slim fit, button fly or zipper, and washed or distressed, and so on and so on. So he spent an hour trying them all on, got the best fitting jean of his life, and was still less satisfied than before, because these jeans weren't perfect. And so when people make decisions, and even though the results of the decisions are good, they feel disappointed about them. They blame themselves. I believe a significant, not the only, but a significant contributor to this explosion of depression and also suicide is that people have experiences that are disappointing because their standards are so high. And then when they have to explain these experiences to themselves, they think they're at fault. And so the net result is that we do better at, in general, objectively, and we feel worse. Okay, so the more options we have, the less satisfied we may feel. When we become aware of this paradox, we can intentionally counteract it. You could say something like, I've got lots of good options. Every outcome will be okay, and then just practice appreciation for the good things you have. Even if they're not perfect, like a startup job or a new pair of jeans. Even something as simple as a zipper is a pretty marvelous invention if you take the time to appreciate it. Second important tip, making a decision comes with risk. Life comes with risk. Choosing to take no risks in life comes with a very high risk of being disappointed and lonely. For example, if you're afraid to choose a major, you'll end up working at the only available jobs at your education level. Life will choose for you if you don't. Next. Understand that. Just acknowledge that delaying decisions, procrastination, or getting frozen and indecision are all actually about risk avoidance. So when you're uncomfortable, when decisions are uncomfortable, you have 2 options to try to manage your discomfort. Option number 1 is to put tons and tons of effort into never making the wrong decision. Try to avoid all discomfort by doing everything right. Does this sound a bit like toxic perfectionism to anyone, right? Trying to never ever make the wrong decision leads to constant rumination, regret, and paralysis about choices. Option 2 is getting really comfortable with making imperfect decisions. Confident people aren't more likely to be right, They're more willing to make imperfect choices. Forward progress includes mistakes and less than perfect outcomes. Tolerating imperfection is a skill that can be learned. Any decision is better than no decision. There's risk in making no decision. Something or someone else will decide for you. Create power over your own life by choosing to make a decision. And when you have made a decision, just celebrate your good decisions. This is how you build self-confidence.